Okay, here we go. We're officially live on Facebook.
Sweet.
Hello, everybody. As you see, I'm here with the D1, the only Blaine Larsen. Do you have a nickname that you go by with like your close friends, or like one historically?
Uh, no, I mean, honestly, I kind of adopted Blaine Train, 5 years ago or so, and it's just been B, Big B, or things that I probably shouldn't put over Facebook. But nothing really that stuck, real big.
Blaine Train or the Big B?
Big B. Yep.
I'm officially changing your contact in my phone after this call to the Blaine Train. And I'm going to go a step further and change the ringtone to like an actual train whistle.
Right.
Doo, doo. That's awesome. Well, thanks for spending some time with me. I know you're super busy, and I know you and I give each other a little bit of a hard time anytime we're trying to get our calendars to line up, because we're both out there hustling every single day. So I know how busy you are. So I appreciate you spending some time with me today. As you know, we're posting this out to our agents within our KW office and out to other agents in the industry. And I thought it'd be a good opportunity for them to get to know a little bit about you and what you're doing in your business right now. How long have you been in the real estate game now?
I right on 16 years. I kind of stopped tracking when I hit the 15-year mark. So I'm somewhere around 16 years in the business.
16 years. Okay, awesome. It's kind of like birthdays, right? Yes. At some point, you stop counting the years because it's like embarrassing to say how long you've been doing it.
Right.
What did you do before real estate?
Kind of a little bit of all. I was a little bit lost, bounced all over. But right before, it's kind of funny. I always kind of ding the Ben Kinney claim right before, but I actually did cable installation. And then found out that, and I told him, well, I'm not a sales guy, so I'm not going to sell cable, but I'll do the installation stuff. And then I kind of found out that I was really good at talking to people. I was doing it and was selling them, and I watched my checks start to grow. And so then, a few months later, I was a sales manager in our office. So kind of funny story in transition, but that was kind of my immediate right before real estate.
That is interesting. I didn't know that was your background, and it's spot on of what Ben Kinney's transition was. Even to the point of like not thinking you were a salesperson, which obviously your numbers indicate that you're an incredible salesperson and leader. And that probably means you get free cable for life, right?
Well, I know how to break in now. No, I'm just kidding. Don't call them on me.
I'm just joking. And then you got into real estate 16 years ago as a solo agent. I know you and I connected. I remember the first time I met with you is at our leadership retreat up in Park City, as we were kind of talking to you about a potential broker role within our organization. And that you're not in the broker role anymore you are a broker, but not in the broker role for the KW infrastructure. But man, I sure learned a lot from you and your leadership and who you were, as you and I got to work a little bit closer together in that KW role before you transitioned back to actually going from like a high producing agent to growing your team. Tell me a little bit about that transition of going from solo agent when you first got into the business, looking at a leadership role within the brokerage, and then shifting into growing a bigger business and a team. That's a great progression and transition. Walk me through that.
The first thing I can tell you is I don't care how long you've been in the business, there's always something to learn, and things are always changing. And no matter how ignorant you are, things will slap you in the face to kind of make you wake up and say, things can change and you can do things different and better, right? So I spent well over a decade in the business on my own, and I was the only one that could do things, right? I was the only one that could write my contracts and meet with my clients and do the paperwork behind and send the emails and do everything that I did. I was the only one that could do it. And then when I jumped in the broker role, I'd been an associate broker for years and years. And when I was the principal broker in Layton, again, you get hit with everybody else's problems and successes and how they deal with problems and the way to navigate through them and best business practices. And so I learned a ton over the 2 years of being the broker out there. And then it evolved, kind of through that as, okay, now I want to focus on, my people right here and kind of fine tune the way I'm doing things, and taking care of my clients and my people, and the way that I'm leveraging my business, which I didn't do for the better part of my business, and how to find that leverage, and ultimately how to have the life I want and run the business I want, and yet not feel like I'm letting the people who trusted me, my clients, down, or not giving them the level of service. And so that's kind of been my transition here over the last 2 years or so.
Yeah, awesome. It's been fun to kind of, just in the limited time you and I have been knowing each other. I guess it's been, how many years ago was that you and I first met?
I keep thinking it's like 2, maybe 3, but I think we're pushing 5, maybe 6.
Right. I was just going to say, like, I think it's been 5 years since you and I first met. But it's been fun to watch that progress, right? And one of my favorite things about being in business with people like you is because it's very similar to me, right? It's like, okay, what's the next thing? How do I continue to grow? And it's been fun, particularly recently over the last couple of years, to watch you evolve your team and say, yes, you're still a phenomenal agent. You've still got that skill set, but continuing to grow your skill set around being a great leader within your team. And then also stepping outside of your real estate sales team, because I know you've got a lot of little investment properties going and things like that, where you're growing multiple businesses now at the same time, which I think a lot of agents forget to do, is really building that long-term passive income wealth. I know you just bought that building in North Ogden and have converted it into a KW branch there, which is awesome. I love to see that. So one of the things that I think you've been crushing and doing at a really high level are these client appreciation events. Is that something you've done your whole career, or is that something that you've really incorporated over the last couple of years at a higher level?
So it's something I've kind of done my whole life, and it's funny. I've got to bring you back. I just met with an agent that just joined my North Ogden office out here, and it was very important that I told her, because she said, well, I do that, or I should do this, or I should do that because they're doing it. And I said, no, you should do what you love doing and enhance that, and find that a way around your life and your business, and do things that make you happy. Right. And I found that was very important to me, because I see agents that do different things and they're great and they have great success. But at the end of the day, I go, I wouldn't want to do that. Right. Or that's not fun to me. Or with these group of people, I don't want to do it. And so to answer your question, I've always kind of done it just on a smaller scale. I've always kind of been the host of people and get people together and have my real core, my sphere of influence, my A+ people that just love to send me business, and I love them for it. And so I've just tried to get better at it throughout the years. I've tried to enhance the conversations as I do it. And again, I really try to make it stuff that I love to do. We just did our fishing event, and that was great. I mean, it was a fun it wasn't work, and it wasn't meeting clients. It was hanging out with a couple hundred of my best friends. Yeah. And we had a great time doing it. And we do tailgate for Weber State football in the fall, and it's the same thing. We're there for all day, and then we go in and watch the game, and we're hanging out with our friends, and we're having a great time doing it. So yeah. That's would be my focus or advice, if anybody else is listening or wanting to do things you love to do.
Yeah. I think both those examples that you gave, the fishing, I know you regardless of doing a client appreciation event, you love being in the outdoors, right? That's just part of who you are. You look at the tailgating party you do at Weber. It's not just something you're like, oh, what can we do locally? Let's go do that. You have a specific tie to Weber State because you were very involved with the program there. And so there's like a connection of things that you love anyway that you're coupling with the business. That's one of my favorite things about what we do as real estate agents, is we have this unique ability, which I really can't think of very many other business opportunities that give you the ability to say, what are the things I love doing anyway that I'm going to be doing that I can just invite people along with me, and I'm winning in two ways. I'm doing things that I love, and I'm inviting a bunch of people that love the same thing I love being around, and really blowing that up. Can you think of another industry really that creates that opportunity?
No, and I'll tell you the thing, as you say it like that, it's either you can do a business where you're beating your head against the wall, and it's, you know, it's a punch in the clock almost, or you do something you love and you work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, because you're living your life while you're doing it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think you bring up a great point in that it's for agents, they got to figure out what is their unique thing, right? What it is that they love. Because if someone else that hates the outdoors, you know, doesn't do any of those things, if they throw a fishing event, it's not going to feel very authentic, right? That there are
Right.
people that are resonating with them will be like, what? Why are they taking us fishing? They hate that kind of stuff, right? So it's got to feel authentic to them. And I think particularly right now, it's really important for us to get less vanilla, less neutral in our message, but get really clear on who we are and what we want to be doing, and make sure our message is in alignment with that, and go really, really deep with that smaller group of people that are in alignment with you are, than just going an inch deep with a lot more people, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm not sure you're aware of this or not, but there's kind of a huge health pandemic going on in the world right now.
You're kidding me. No, I haven't heard. I haven't heard.
But the reason I bring that up is a lot of us have had to shift our business strategies. Out of curiosity, what's changed for you? Because I know you're still crushing business. You're still doing a lot of things. Your team's moving forward. From a strategy standpoint, what's changed for you guys right now?
Honestly, and I don't mean to sound in a scripty way or whatever, or, you know, something that doesn't resonate, but it's us telling our story. And by telling your story, you hear that in trainings and you hear that in different things, and I've heard that in trainings before too, and I'm just kind of like, oh, come on, you know, we tell our story, whatever. But no, real honesty, it's knowing what's going on, and it's being able to convey that to people, because you know, I don't watch the news anymore. I don't know who does, but I can't do it, right? I have to quit, you know, some social medias, because it's too much. And so I'm really focusing on what's true, what's reality, and what's happening here, and then having conversations with people about that, and letting them know what really is, what's really happening, what their goals are, what their families' goals and dreams and hopes are, and then sitting down and having consultations, and looking at a big picture of things, and not basing it off of what's happening in New York or what's happening around the world, but what's happening in their life, their financial situation, and our current market. And that is the game changer right there, because if you let people sit back and watch the news, you're never going to have any clients. I'm sorry, but if I sat around and watched the news all day and knew nothing about the real estate market, the last thing I'd be thinking right now would be buying a house.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that the majority of clients that aren't getting a unique conversation to them, they're taking these general news stories, depending on what news platform they're watching, they're taking that as reality to them, right? And it's this huge macro scale where the micro conversation is more important now than it's ever been, of saying, okay, you're aware that things are going on in the world. What's going on with you? And how does this affect you, right? And that's something that, particularly with your client events and things like that, where you've built that type of relationship where it's beyond them thinking, oh, I need to buy or sell, I'll call the Blaine train. It's more of like, hey, I need some advice. I need to know what to do with my house. I'm looking at doing a home improvement project. From my perception, you've built that type of relationship where you are that resource for them through all of that, which is pretty awesome.
Right. Agreed. And I believe you need to make yourself that resource. You know, we all know a lot of people, and some people aren't comfortable with it. And so, you know, there's a lot of people, you know, we say lead generating and prospecting. And again, words that I typically hate, just to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But what I call it, or, you know, the way that we'll do it is, hey, we're going to talk to our top 50 and have a consultation with them, and just talk to them, right? Just, do you know what interest rates are? Do you know the value of your home right now? Do you know the equity you have in it right now? Have you had any thoughts on buying or selling? I just want to show you your options, right? And hopefully you call me, and we always say, you know, we want to lead with value, we want to give with value. Well, I'm sorry, but if I know nothing about real estate and somebody informs me to my financial situation based off real estate or opportunities, that's valuable to me, right? It's not, I don't have to buy them dinner to do it, but if I can give them that, and then all of a sudden they go, you know what, it might be a good opportunity for me to refinance. Do I make money off that? No, but I'm their resource and I'm giving them the value that might be a good idea for them to do right now.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. Just the fact of us saying, oh, I am your one-stop resource for everything real estate. That doesn't resonate with people, but actually becoming that, like taking the conversation to them, studying the market, understanding what options are available. That's how you become that over time. So Blaine, again, I know you're super busy. Thanks for sharing some of your time. Do you have any, if you were to give some advice to our general agent public right now in our office, what would it be?
I think it's simple. I think that you are who you surround yourself with. And if you're avoiding the office right now, and if you're doing it for health reasons, Zoom in, take other advantage. But I think you need to be a part. I think you need to plug into things. I think you need to hear other people's stories, because if you're sitting at home and you're watching the news, or you're listening to your friends and your family around you and letting them tell you what's going on out there, or that business is down because of this health crisis going on, I'm sorry, but you have it dead wrong. And you need to get out and get a new story told to you. So I say, jump into the office, come out to our office out here in North Ogden, get onto the trainings, make yourself better, understand the story that you should be telling, and then get out there and tell it, because we just have too many great things going on right now to sit back and blame what's going on around the world for not doing anything right now. And lastly, I'm going to say, plug in and know what some of the tools are that we have. Like, we have some really good stuff, and I'll tell you right now, the one that's been killing it for me lately, because we're competitive right now, right? I mean, there's still green billboards when you go down the freeway. There's still the discount brokers, and we still have to prove our value. So the two things that I'm going to say, and then I'll be done, is one, know our tools. KW Mortgage has been my biggest tool lately. I've been using it really well at open houses and buyer consultations. And then again, know how to use it in a seller consultation, because that could be you getting the listing or not. So that is super important. And then know your stats. If you're watching some of these other companies and discount companies, you're seeing a huge trend in them raising their commissions, and their price drops dramatically, and their days on market are taking forever, where our statistics are still up here because we offer that value and that consultation. So know your stats and know your competitor. You'll have much better consultations with your people.
Love it. I mean, both those points are huge advice. So thanks again. Super proud to be in business with you. Thanks for being a leader in our office and constantly, giving some of your time and energy to helping other agents in our office. You're a freaking stud. Proud to know you.
I'm always out north. Stop by.
Okay. Thanks, buddy. See ya.
See ya.